Welcome to another episode, everyone. J-Bo, BMF, Black Mafia family member, caught with 53 kilos, 3 blicks, and 50,000 cash. He's done. He's cooked. He's heading back to the big house, probably for the rest of his life. Now people are even saying that Big Meech may be under investigation because of this. I don't know what Big Meech has to do with it. This individual is living his own life. It just amazes me. This individual got out of prison and in fact has been arrested about 3 times since he's been out of prison, went back to the feds for something else. But now this is extremely serious. Caught dead bang, 53 kilos. Check this out. And, he had a chance to live his life, to do better, to stay free. And it's hard to lead that life clearly, making a lot of money. You know the ins and outs of the game. You go to prison and you sharpen your skills instead of getting out of the game. And then you end up like this.
So at what point did you get the title of J-Bo?
That's when he had the white Benz. Smoking. I'm like, bro. I said, man, I've been with you, man. You see, I've been producing for you. Now, I got a way that you can make more money. You know what I'm saying? He's like, how is that? I said, well, you know what I'm getting for mine. You know what I'm saying? I say, what if you just make me your partner? We getting them for 15. You can give them to me for, 16. 16.5. I'm going to bring us back 26. And he looked at me like, hit the blunt. We rode for about 10 minutes. He ain't say nothing. I'm like, damn, I'm up. He said, know what? I like how you think. I don't know. I think he blurted out like, hey, Junior Boss, J-Bo. He said, from here on out, I'm calling you J-Bo. When it's time to get dope, I take.
This is the Ruler Report, the YouTube channel, The Ruler Report. He has the scoop on this, man. Shout out to the Ruler Report.
With all of the different ways that you can make money nowadays, it always baffles me when I see people who, made it out to life or had a chance to get out to life.
Yeah.
Actually go back to doing the things that sent them to jail in the past. Right. Now, in this particular situation, we have an individual who goes by the name of J-Bo, who was affiliated with BMF boss Big Meech. Now, after serving time for cases, associated with his affiliation with BMF, he would also catch a case a few years ago.
Roundup of drug mafia suspects by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Tonight, more than 24 of the Metro's biggest suppliers are off the streets. First Alert 4's Russell Kinsall is following this story tonight.
Yeah, Corey, according to federal prosecutors, this was a drug distribution and money laundering operation. One suspect even charged with fraudulently getting a PPP loan during the pandemic.
Yeah, there's even an accusation drug traffickers profited by applying for COVID relief loans. Those indicted include...
Right, that's what he went to jail for. COVID relief. J-Bo right here. The same individual you're about to see got caught up with 53 kilos just now. He's already went back to prison for COVID-19 or whatever the hell scam.
Carl Von Garrett accused of laundering nearly $1 million of drug proceeds in a 3-month period. Tiffany Tiff BMF Nelson faces money laundering charges. Chad J-Bo Brown accused of submitting a fraudulent tax form to obtain a PPP loan.
Now, in my mind, after going through that with them, I would have been thinking like, hell, I know I'm hot. I know the police is watching me. There's only so much that I can do. Really, let me clean it up and go legit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
so what happened?
We just got J-Bo, who is Chad Brown, and they got J-Bo with 53. What our experts believe to be 53 kilos of cocaine.
Man,
3 pistols and approximately $50,000.
Now you mean to tell me this man, a dude that's doing interviews, this be crazy. A dude that's all over social media doing interviews and all this is like accepting the load.
And he was
yeah, because we see individuals on the internet doing podcasts that are still in the streets, still gang members, still a part of the culture. They turn up the computer and head to the hood and get caught up in situations. You can't straddle the fence. You can't do both. You're already making money off of interviews. You're doing podcasts. There are other ways to make money. Yeah, 53 kilos, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. Let's just say it's 10,000 a kilo. And that's over $500,000. That's a lot of bread. But there's still other ways to use your head and make money. Particularly if you're hot, you're already known for this. You're already known for selling this stuff. You're already known for going to prison, for scamming, for millions of dollars, for being caught up with stuff and going to prison worth millions of dollars, for being a part of a crew that is known for this, that have all been incarcerated and locked up for decades and just now coming home and trying to do something different. Big Meech and them, they out here streaming. You know, who knows whatever else he's doing, but he's streaming. He's low key. How you get caught up like this when they are already on you? They know who you are. You're doing podcasts on Vlad TV about all of your past. Sitting there, oh yeah, you 15. I said, give me 16.5 for each one. We gonna make. So you telling details about your enterprise, even though it was a previous enterprise. They still know who you are. Wouldn't be surprised if they were just watching him and he got caught up.
Planted on a Friday night.
Well, tell them what that means.
So when you get complained, a federal judge has to, you bring your evidence to a federal judge, and the federal judge looks at it, and if they believe that you have the probable cause evidence that this person needs to be held and arraigned in court, they'll do that. And then a lot of times, but if somebody wants to cooperate, they'll waive that portion.
Yeah.
But J-Bo says he
ain't talking.
He ain't talking to nobody. But he is now. I don't know if he's still in custody. I don't know what the bond was set at, but he was complained last night, a Friday night. So even the judge stood behind and said, "Oh, I'll stick around for J-Bo to get complained."
Yeah. So 53 kilos.
So at this time, we don't know all the particulars in this case. All we know is that they're saying that he's currently locked up after getting hit by the strike force, the feds. And they found 53 bricks. Some outlets is even saying 60, but the podcast that allegedly has a connection to the individuals that actually did this bust is saying 53 bricks, $50,000, and 3 blicks. Now,
oh man,
I'm pretty interested to see if they're just like, if he's the only person that they arrested or that they associated with these bricks. Is there other people that possibly went to jail? Where was the work at? Where was all the details should come out soon, but I mean, at this point, it's sad to see that this old man, because we old at this point, we
old, man,
at all. They was young back when Meech and them was still doing their thing. At this point, everybody is 40 some years and old and up. Let's just keep it on going to talk to kids.
Exactly. It's time to get out of that life. It's time to get out of the street. That's what you 50 years old, 45. You cannot stand a 20-year bid. When you were 20 years old, okay, it's still no good. You don't ever want to go to prison. You don't ever want to live that life. Nevertheless, you're 20 years old, 25 years old, okay. You get 15 years for something. All right, man. You do 9 years, do 10 years. You come home, you still 35 years old. When you starting off at 50, you're starting off at 45 years old. And you got 20 years or 25 years or 30 years, you're done. It's over. That's why at that age, you can't be committing crimes because you can't stand a 20-year bid at the age of 50. You can't do it.
It's about staying out of trouble.
I really don't want to see kids go to the places that I have already been.
Oh.
Right. So I went there and the kids didn't really know who I was, so I had to tell them, like, I ever heard of, the BMF.
They know who we.
But when they sing, I'm older now, so when they sing, they be like, man, who was this guy? You know what I'm saying? But I had to mention to them that, I'm one of the BMF members, and I kind of caught their ear. You got some out there laughing and joking in the stands. So I kind of like, hey, I think you guys should really listen to what I have to say because it can save you. You know what I'm saying? So I spoke to them and it was probably about a good 30 or 40 students up in the stands. And I think when I got through talking to them, I had everybody's attention, especially when I told them things that they don't want to hear, like prison.
Now, some of y'all need to take this as a warning, man. That
So he's out here, see, and that's, come on, man. You know, shout out to the Ruler Report. Shout out to you, man. Good information, man. Good video. Stay on top of it, man. See what's going on with J-Bo, what the particulars are. But yeah, this is a warning, a lesson to the youth, you know, or to individuals my age, for that matter. Individuals J-Bo age. That, you know, you have to get out of their life. You have to get out of the street at some point. When do we learn that you're going to be caught up at some point? I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if he's guilty of anything. I don't know what happened. He's innocent until proven guilty. He's been caught up, as we just heard. He's been caught or arrested for 53 kilos. Where they found it at, whatever, he may beat it. It may not have been his. May have found it over here and just putting it on him. I don't know what's going on. I guess we'll see. Nevertheless, he's been locked up a couple of different times, in and out of prison, the federal system, for all of this different stuff, COVID, scam, etc., drugs before, and what have you. And, you know, oftentimes they don't go make these arrests unless they have something, but we'll see what happens. Nevertheless, let me know what you think in the comments. He's locked down right now, unless he bailed out. His bail's going to be pretty high, I would think, because they don't want him to try to go anywhere or anything. They probably figure if he got this amount, he probably has money. He got money, some kind of money somewhere. He could probably bail out. But he can also probably disappear. They may not want that, so we'll see what they do with his bail. But we'll see, you know, if he's found guilty of this situation. If he is, it's not good. He's going to prison for a very long time. That's a lot of stuff. And 3 weapons. You know, it's like 3 separate gun charges. You know, no, man, that's all bad. And as I'm saying, at his age, that's not good. At half his age, okay, you still gonna be in the street acting crazy. You're a YN. You think you have your whole life ahead of you. You think you have forever on this earth when you're that age. You think that you are invincible. They shouldn't be doing it either. But that's one thing. But at his age, no way. You go to prison, as I said, 30-year bid, 25 in the feds. You're already 48 years old. Give it up. So at some point, you got to just get out of the street when you are a certain age, knowing that you can't stand a 20-year bid. You can't stand a 25-year bid at your age. You better not be out there doing anything that can get you 25. We'll see what happens. J-Bo arrested, in jail. At last count, cooked, 53 kilos, 3 blickies, 50,000 cash. Let me know. Stay safe and stay free, people.